I first met her when I was 17 years old and bleeding in the dust of a forgotten moon. My name is Kale Riven. Back then, I was just a scavenger running illegal salvage routes beyond the regulated star lanes. My ship, a battered courier-class skimmer named Drift, had been shot down by an automated defense satellite orbiting the moon Vargos 9. I crashed hard, half-conscious, thinking my life would end there. Another nameless drifter swallowed by the void. But when I opened my eyes, she was standing over me. Her skin shimmered like pale starlight. Her eyes, silver, luminous, unreadable, studied me with a curiosity that felt ancient. She wore no armor, no insignia, but the air itself seemed to bow around her presence. "You are human," she said, her voice smooth as glass over water. I tried to speak. Only a rasp came out. She crouched beside me and placed 2 fingers against my forehead. Warmth surged through my skull. My broken ribs eased. My vision cleared. Within seconds, I could breathe again. I scrambled backward, terrified. She tilted her head. Interesting. Fear response intact. What are you?" I asked. She smiled faintly. "I am Princess Erin Valther of the Luminara Dominion." I had heard rumors of the Luminara, an advanced alien empire rumored to manipulate light and gravity like toys. They rarely interacted with outsiders. And royalty? That was myth-level rarity. "Why help me?" I asked. Erin looked toward the horizon, where twin suns were setting. "Because I have been searching for something my entire life. And I believe I just found it." I didn't understand then. I only knew I needed to leave before Dominion patrols arrived. She let me go, even repaired my ship with a wave of her hand. As I lifted off, I looked back. She was still standing there, watching me ascend into the sky. I didn't know it then, but that moment was the beginning of a chase that would last 15 years. For the next decade and a half, no matter where I ran, she followed. At first, I thought the encounter was a strange dream. But 3 months later, in a trading port on the asteroid City Helix station, I found her again, sitting in a dim tavern, hood drawn low, silver eyes reflecting the neon glow. "Kale Riven," she said as I froze in the doorway. "You're alive. Good." I bolted. I didn't even stop to pack. I fled Helix Station, changed ships, changed names, changed star systems. But everywhere I went, whispers followed. People spoke of a silver-eyed woman asking about a human drifter. Sometimes I'd catch a glimpse of her across a crowded market. Sometimes I'd find a note in my quarters written in flowing, alien script. "We need to talk." I never stayed long enough. I wasn't afraid of her power. I was afraid of what she wanted. Because deep down, I knew she wasn't hunting me for vengeance. She was searching for something else. And I wasn't ready to give it. 15 years after our first meeting, I had built a quiet life on the frontier world of Dareth Prime. I ran a small repair shop for Starship engines. No one asked questions. No one cared who I used to be. I thought I had finally outrun her. Then one night, the lights in my shop flickered. A shimmer of silver entered through the doorway, like a beam of moonlight taking human shape. Erin stood before me again, unchanged, ageless, luminous. I set down my tools slowly. "You're persistent." She studied me. "You've aged." "Humans do that," I muttered. Her eyes softened. "I have searched 15 years across the spiral arms for you." I exhaled sharply. "Then you wasted 15 years. "No," she said. "I learned." I turned away. "What do you want from me, princess?" She stepped closer. "When I was a child, our empire's seers foretold a convergence. A being from a fragile world whose mind would bridge what we cannot. I was told to find you." I laughed bitterly. "I'm a mechanic, not a prophecy. She placed a hand on my chest. A familiar warmth pulsed through me. Memory surfaced. Visions of star networks, of luminous pathways connecting species, of something vast and unfinished. You have a mind that resonates with the light weave, she said. You can stabilize it. Without you, our dominion will collapse into civil war. Entire systems will fall into darkness. I swallowed hard. And you've been chasing me to recruit me into your cosmic destiny. Yes, she admitted. I turned to face her. You could have just said that 15 years ago. Her gaze flickered. I was young. I didn't understand humans. I thought saving your life would bind you to me. I was wrong. Silence stretched between us. Finally, I said, I'm not your savior. I'm just a man who didn't ask to be special. Her voice lowered. You don't understand what's at stake. Then explain it, I snapped. No prophecies. No royal commands. Just truth. So she told me everything. The Lightweave was a vast energy network sustaining Dominion technology, travel, even their long lifespans. But it was growing unstable. Their scientists couldn't fix it. Their priests believed only a mind capable of chaotic creativity, a human mind, could adapt it. I wasn't chosen by fate. I was chosen by compatibility, a living repair tool. When she finished, I sat down heavily. You want me to leave my life, I said slowly, and fix your empire because your systems are breaking. Yes, she said simply. I looked up at her silver eyes. For the first time, I saw exhaustion behind them. Fear. Not for herself, but for her people. Why me? I asked quietly. There are billions of humans. She hesitated. Because when I touched your mind 15 years ago, I saw kindness. I saw resilience. I saw someone who could carry this burden without becoming a tyrant. I shook my head. You've built a fantasy around me. Have I? She whispered. Or are you just afraid to matter? That hit harder than any weapon. I didn't give her an answer that night. Days passed. She stayed in my workshop's spare room. She didn't push. She didn't command. She simply waited. And slowly I realized something. Everywhere I'd gone, I'd been running from purpose, from connection, from responsibility, not just from her. But accepting her offer meant losing my simple life. It meant stepping into a galaxy-scale conflict. It meant never being anonymous again. On the 7th day, I walked into the workshop before sunrise. She was standing at the doorway, already awake, as if she had never slept. I'll come, I said. Her expression lit like dawn breaking across glass. Thank you. I raised a finger, but on one condition. She inclined her head. Name it. I am not your servant, not your chosen tool. I'll help your dominion, but I decide how. And when I'm done, I walk away. She smiled softly. Agreed. And so, after 15 years of pursuit, I finally stepped onto her ship. The Dominion capital was unlike anything I had imagined. Towers of crystallized light stretched into violet skies. Rivers of luminous energy flowed through the air like living auroras. Entire cities hovered above oceans of glowing mist. They welcomed Aaron as royalty. They regarded me as a curiosity. Some bowed. Some stared with suspicion. Some whispered that I was a false prophet. I didn't care. They led me to the Lightweave core, a structure the size of a mountain composed entirely of interlocking beams of shifting radiance. It pulsed irregularly, like a heart struggling to beat. Aaron placed a hand on my shoulder. Touch it, she said. I did. And the universe unfolded. I saw the weave as code, but alive. Fractured pathways. Recursive loops. Conflicts born of rigid logic unable to adapt. I realized why their minds couldn't fix it. They were too orderly, too structured. Humanity's chaos was the missing ingredient. For weeks, I worked inside the light weave. Time lost meaning. I rewrote energy flows, introduced randomness, taught their perfect system to embrace imperfection. It nearly killed me, but at last the weave stabilized. The Dominion skies brightened. Their machines hummed with renewed harmony. Their people cheered. Erin stood beside me as the final surge settled. "You've saved us," she said. I was shaking, exhausted, alive. "I told you," I murmured. "I'm just a mechanic." She laughed, a real laugh this time. Perhaps the universe has a sense of humor. That night, the Dominion held a celebration. Lights danced across the sky. Music thrummed through crystal halls. Nobles and soldiers alike toasted the human who mended eternity. Erin stood beside me on a balcony, overlooking her radiant world. "You have earned anything you desire," she said. "Land, title, immortality if you wish." I looked out at the endless glowing horizon. Then I turned to her, and I spoke the sentence that ended her 15-year chase. "I'm going home." For a moment, the universe went silent. Erin stared at me, silver eyes trembling. "You would leave after all this?" I nodded. "I fixed your problem. My part is done. I told you I would walk away when it was over." Her lips parted. Hurt flickered across her perfect composure. Then something deeper, respect. "You truly are human," she said softly. "Brilliant, stubborn, and free." She stepped closer. "Will I ever see you again?" I smiled faintly. "Maybe, if the galaxy breaks again." She let out a breath that was half laugh, half sigh. Then she bowed, an empress bowing to a mechanic. "Go with my gratitude, Cale Riven." I left the Dominion the next morning. I returned to Dareth Prime, reopened my small repair shop. Life became quiet again. Simple. Sometimes, when I look at the night sky, I imagine silver eyes watching distant stars. Not hunting me anymore. Not chasing destiny. Just remembering. She chased me for 15 years across the galaxy. I ended it in one sentence. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't running anymore. Years passed. On Dareth Prime, life returned to its slow, dusty rhythm. My repair shop's metal shutters rattled each morning as I opened them. Travelers came and went. Engines broke. I fixed them. Credits exchanged hands. The universe moved on. To anyone passing through, I was just Cale, the quiet mechanic with oil-stained sleeves and a scar across his ribs from a crash long ago. No one knew I had once touched the heart of an empire. No one knew a princess had crossed galaxies for me. And I intended to keep it that way. Yet sometimes, when the shop was empty and the twin suns dipped below the horizon, I'd feel it, a faint hum in the air, like a distant chord of light resonating through reality. The light weave, still stable, still alive. My work had held. One evening, a child entered my shop. A girl, maybe 10 years old, holding a broken toy drone. Her eyes were bright with frustration. "Can you fix it?" she asked. I took the drone apart, rearranged a few wires, and handed it back. The toy whirred to life, buzzing joyfully. The girl smiled wide. "You're amazing." I chuckled. "I'm just a mechanic." She ran off into the street, laughter echoing behind her. And for the first time, I understood something that had taken me 15 years to learn. Purpose doesn't always mean destiny. Sometimes it just means doing what you can, where you are, for whoever stands in front of you. Far away, across immeasurable stars, Queen Erin Valther ruled a shining dominion. Her people prospered. The light weave flowed steady. Her empire no longer stood on the edge of collapse, but in quiet moments, she would stand alone on a balcony of crystal light, gazing into the night sky. Not searching, just remembering. A human who refused to be owned by fate. A man who fixed eternity and walked away. And somewhere on a forgotten frontier world, a mechanic locked his shop for the night, stepped outside, and looked up at the stars. No chase. No prophecy. No running. Just peace.